What's up guys? It's been a while since I posted any new videos. So I have some things I'm taking care of today, which is one being I'm putting on the new spoiler that came in, and I'm also installing the black, let me show you guys, it's somewhere, the black glossy black emblems here. This is spider wire. It's a fishing line. I bought it from Walmart. But this specific kind, the way the line is actually made, it's like a weaved pattern, so it makes it so the fishing line is not like stretchy when you're trying to pull on it and take off emblems and stuff. So yeah, the first thing I gotta do is take off this cover here, which just has a couple plastic tabs, which is easy to take off, and take off these two little things here, and they just come off by twisting to the left. There you go. You just go behind the little liner here and just pull it up, and it just comes like that. And just do that for the rest. This plastic cover just pops right off. You want to grab it from the bottom and then pull it. Okay, so now you can see these two nuts that are holding in the spoiler, and then you just take off these two little rubber plugs that give you access to the nut there on both sides. Whatever you do, don't drop the nut, especially when you're doing these. There's the original spoiler. There's all the tape that I still have to remove. So for some reason I didn't even think about how I would not be able to pull this fishing line through, because obviously there's like studs and like things in the way. So I just used some plastic prying tools. Seems like it's the quickest way. Alright guys, so finished this. And I didn't want to keep the camera rolling because it was just wasting so much memory space on my camera. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Time to do this side emblem. So now I got these glossy black emblems and matches with the roof. Super happy with this. So I took a shower real quick and then came back out, and it's like all gloomy and just it was raining or something. Dang it, this thing is not melted. A lot of you guys don't know about my past or my history and how I got into cars, and I'm just gonna explain a little bit about that. And so basically, where do I start? Let's see. So I was that kid in in 3rd, 4th grade, and I was probably about the only kid that I remember bringing in. I kept bringing these car magazines to class every day, and it was specifically those DuPont registry magazines. And it had like Lamborghinis and Maseratis and all like the exotic cars. And I remember every month I would get the new issued magazine. Fast forward to my sophomore year in high school, I got my first ever car, which was a Hyundai Genesis Coupe, 3.8 liter with the V6 and everything, and it had the manual. And that thing was, it was a blast to drive, and I got a lot of speeding tickets and a lot of trouble with that car. Once I graduated high school, after I'd gone through several different cars, because I was just going through this phase of, wanting to get, I got tired of cars real quick, and at the same time, I was putting so many miles on my car. Like on the Genesis Coupe, I drove that thing for like 6 months, and I put in 18,000 miles in that 6 months, and so I was just driving everywhere, just like any young kid who just got their license probably would. Once I graduated high school, I went to this school called Universal Technical Institute, where it's just for automotive only. And you know, and with that being said, I didn't even take the SATs when I was in high school because I already knew I was going to go to that school, and I just wanted to become a mechanic. And then so I go to that school, I go to UTI in Florida, Orlando, Florida specifically. After I graduated, about a year and a half later, because I took some extracurricular courses like Ford Fact, I went to apply for, it was BMW and Mercedes. I originally wanted to get into Porsche, but the problem was because of so many bad speeding tickets, and I actually even got arrested before when I was like 17 or 16. But during those times when I was being so reckless and stuff, it kind of hurt me in the end, because in order to get into Porsche, one of the requirements are to have a clean driving record within the past 5 years. I was going through this 3-step interview process with BMW, and when it came to the final in-person interview, the person tells me that I can't get in because of my driving history. So I was kind of bummed out, and then you know what, my last chance is with Mercedes, why not? So I remember so when it came down to the actual final interview, it was a video interview, and I was actually wearing a top. It was only for my top. My bottom was just like nothing. So I was just, because it was a video interview, and I was just sitting down with my laptop. But it's only 14 or 15 open seats out of the whole the U.S. Because this class was, you know, pretty new, and it's pretty tough to really get in, because you have to be. They're looking for very specific people. Mercedes, they're gonna be the one paying for all your training and taking care of everything. The only thing you have to take care of yourself is to, you know, find a place to live and just take care of your own personal costs. And so once I graduated from Mercedes, which was a 25 week program, and if you don't know, it's actually called Mercedes-Benz Elite Advanced. And I graduated, and surprisingly, I didn't know, but I graduated being, they call it you get the Top Gun award, being that you have the highest grades compared to everybody else and stuff. And it was pretty tough. Like, out of all the schooling, like UTI and Ford and everything, like the actual manufacturer schooling was a lot more strict and tough, and you know, 2 people got kicked out and everything. So it was pretty intense, and I remember even one guy was crying at the graduation just because of, you know, everything. We all of us became like so close to each other, and you know, it was pretty awesome, because we're all from different states all over the country. And yeah, so I graduated on a Friday, and then just that following Monday, I went straight to work here over in Atlanta at a Mercedes dealership. After I was a mechanic for about a year, you know, I left to go start doing my own little business ventures, because at the end of the day, I was feeling, I felt like a slave, and I guess just my personality and my type of person is just, I like to do things myself, and I hate being told what to do and everything like that. So I was doing an Amazon business, importing stuff from China, and I did that for about a solid year and a half or so. And then after that, I went into opening my own car dealership. I got my dealer's license and started buying cars at the auctions from Anaheim and all this. I have a different business that I'm venturing into, where it's all fully service based, and it's nothing car related at all. It's actually marketing. So I'm always a guy that's fixing cars for friends or looking at stuff. So I started out with the Genesis Coupe. I went from a Genesis Coupe to a Mercedes. It was a 2008 CLK 550. And it was, you know, that thing was a beast, and that thing, I was like going through a phase where I wanted something classy. Within several months, I switched to a red NC Mazda Miata, I think it was 2008. And then from the Mazda Miata, I switched to a, it was a purple 2005 Shinka Edition RX-8. From the RX-8, I went to a 2005, I think 2006 350Z, which was white. And then from that, I went to Honda Accord, 2013 Honda Accord, mainly because I was driving back and forth from Orlando to Atlanta almost every weekend just to see my girlfriend and stuff like that. After I got the Accord, I went to a Porsche. Which was probably one of my most favorite cars. It was a 2014 or 13, 14. I don't know. Either one. I mean, the same model, I think. It's the Boxster S, which had the 3.4 liter flat six. It was scary to even drive around potholes or in downtown Atlanta because, you know, one of the wheels, I looked it up, it was like $2,400 just to replace one of the wheels. I went from that to a 2006 Toyota Prius. And I know you're probably wondering, like, what the heck? Why did I go to a Prius? I was going through another phase while I was working in Mercedes. Like, you know, I read this one book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which my friend told me about. Like, he told me I should read it. And then I was like, heck, why not? I don't even ever read. I never read. I hate reading, actually. My whole mindset was changing. And then, so I got rid of the Porsche mainly because I didn't want to have any debt and everything, and didn't want to have to make any payments like that. At the time, you know, I was young and I didn't have any payments at all, so the Porsche was the only payment I was paying for. And then after the Prius, I went back to a NC Miata. Something interesting about that car is I bought it for $8,300, and then I drove that thing for about a good year or so, and then I sold it for $10,000, I think $10,500, 200-ish, somewhere around there. Oh yeah, and then I was driving a red BMW 328i. So during that time, I was buying and selling cars, and so I would also use the cars that I have in my inventory. So I would drive around the cars that I'm selling, you know, just because I can, and sometimes I would like to drive a truck, and so I would drive a truck. And then that's when I bought this Mustang GT, which was like several months ago, and yeah. See if it shows, or I mean, if you can hear it on this GoPro here. But I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a little tapping sound. And okay, let's go back. So that sound, I heard the same sound that somebody else was having on their 18 Mustang on YouTube, and that guy actually, it turned out that his motor needed a new block, and it was, I guess their service department at the Ford dealership was saying it's like there's some piston slap or something, and inside the cylinder walls was damaged, and all this, I don't know, just stuff that I don't want to hear and be like, oh my gosh. And somebody sent me a link saying, oh, it's when your AC is on, but even with the AC off and everything, it's still noticeable and it's still there, and it doesn't change at all. And so yeah, so that's one reason why I haven't ordered my wheels yet, because I'm actually concerned. Like, I don't want to keep putting in money into this car if I know that it might end up being, you know, like a buyback vehicle, or it's just, you know, I'm gonna end up getting rid of it or something like that. So no point in putting all this money if you're gonna get rid of the car. But hopefully I don't need to, and maybe it's just gonna be something that's not a big deal, but I'll have to find out in the next 2 weeks or so, and I'll probably give you guys an update and see if anything comes up. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna head out now because it is getting dark. So peace out.